Great.
Yeah.
Do you swear affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Howe.
Good afternoon.
Can you please introduce yourself to the members of the jury?
Hello, everybody. My name is Dave Howe.
And Mr. Howe, what do you do for a living?
I'm a law enforcement officer.
And what department do you presently work for?
Riviera Beach Police Department.
And how long have you been in law enforcement?
I was hired in 2016 and been certified since 2017.
And where are you from originally?
Well, I was born in Miami, Florida, but grew up in Palm Beach County.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to Palm Beach Lakes High School and Royal Palm Beach High School.
Did you play football in high school?
Yes, I did.
What position did you play?
I played defensive tackle and offensive tackle.
Can you tell us when you first met Bryan?
Yes, the first time I had actually a conversation with him was in the summer of 2002. We were at a University of Miami football camp. It was a Larry Coker football camp, and we both were attendees at the camp.
Was this like an invitation-only type camp?
Yes, it was.
And at that time, were you both in high school?
Yes, we were.
When you attended the camp, did you know what college you wanted to attend?
Yeah, I was actually already committed to Miami from February of that year.
Can you tell us a little bit about the people, the types of players who were attending the camp?
These were all players that the University of Miami was, had a high interest in, and a lot of the top players across the country.
So was this a camp where you were kind of trying to showcase your talents?
Yes.
And you said Bryan was there?
Yes, he was.
So you said you were already committed to the University of Miami. What about Bryan?
He wasn't committed at the time.
Did you try to convince him to come to the University of Miami?
Yes, I did.
Did you stay in touch after that camp?
Yes, from that point, mostly me following him and just trying to see like how things are going as far as for the season. And then we ended up going to the Cali, Florida All-Star game, which was in, I believe, December of that year.
And what players went to that game? Like, how were you invited to go?
So basically, they hand-selected the top players from Florida, and then obviously the top players from California as well. We would fly out to California and play a game against them. It was sponsored by, I think, Air 7.
Did anyone else who ended up attending the University of Miami go to that game?
Yeah, Eric Monker was there. Glenn Cook was another player I remember from there. John Deason. Andrew Bain.
So a number of people.
It was a good amount of guys that came up to that.
And ultimately, did you end up attending the University of Miami to play football?
Yes, I did.
What year did you start at the University of Miami?
It was 2003.
When you came to play football, did you start before the school year? Did you come to campus prior to the school year starting?
Yeah, I came in the summer for the summer workouts.
Did Bryan go to the summer workouts?
Yes, he did.
And what was your relationship like with Bryan?
From that time, we actually, the same day that I came in for summer enrollment or what have you, I ran into him out in the parking lot outside of the HECT. And we just had like this big, excitement because I knew that was, at that time I didn't really have a cell phone like that, like nowadays how people have cell phones. But so to be able to see him and know that he already committed to come to Miami, I was like elated that he was there. And we just chopped it up. He told me he ended up getting the jersey number he wanted, and I was like, wait, let me go call the coach. I want to find out if I can get my jersey number as well. And from there, we exchanged phone numbers, and been friends ever since.
And what jersey number did he get? That
He wore number 95.
And what jersey number did you wear?
I was 87 at that time.
And what position did Bryan play?
He played defensive end.
And what did you play?
I played defensive tackle.
Can you explain to the jury a little bit about the life of a college football player, your day-to-day?
It's very hectic. You wake up pretty much 5 o'clock in the morning. As a freshman going into college, you would end up, University of Miami, they had us, majority of the freshmen do the early morning workout, which pretty much started at 7 o'clock, I believe, or 6 o'clock, somewhere around there. And from there, we left from the workouts, went right to class. We had class back to back to back to back. Left from class, went to meetings, from meetings to practice, from practice back to meetings, then study hall. So it pretty much took up your entire day. So your life was literally, what you had to do with football. And by that time, it's around like 9, 10 o'clock, you're going to bed, so.
To wake up again.
To do it all over again, yes.
Now, you said you and Bryan became close.
Yes.
Did Bryan have any interests outside of football?
Yes, well, he always liked cars. It was one of the things that he was big into, and he taught me a lot about it. I didn't know too much about cars, so that was one of his biggest interests, for sure.
And what type of cars did you know Bryan to have? Because I understand he had more than one car over the course of college.
Well, the car that he had while I was there was a Chevy Tahoe, and it was blue, but it was like candy paint blue, and I was just like, I've never seen something like this before. And it was something that he was very proud about, and he had the spinners on it as well, so with the wheels that spin. So.
And did Bryan like to show off his car?
Yeah, I mean, he would like to record stuff. I took some pictures of him in it. It was always something that he was proud about.
Was he recorded for a TV show at one point?
Yeah, actually, he was on the, I think it was called East Coast Riders or something like that. It was a DVD that they had at the time. And they were able to record him actually inside of the Tahoe. And he was just pretty much saying like, hey, I'm Bryan Pata, University of Miami football player. And he was showing showing on the video that, he has a candy painted Tahoe, and was very proud about it.
Apart from the paint color and the spinners, did he install any other aftermarket accessories?
Yeah, well, there was, he had this, it was like an alarm, but he was like, he would say kill switch. And I was like, what are you talking about? So basically he would tell me, he's like, okay, so if somebody was to take his vehicle, they wouldn't go further than like a block before it would just shut off if you don't punch the code in. So there's like a code to the left side of the steering wheel on the, like where the AC vent would be, like underneath it. And you just would punch the code in, and then, that's how he would normally take it off the, clear the alarm, what have you.
Okay. So like an extra alarm.
Yeah.
Was Bryan close with his family?
Absolutely.
And did he introduce you to his family?
Yes, he did.
Did you end up becoming close to his family?
Yes, I did.
So now I want to ask you some questions about Rashan Jones.
Okay.
Did you come to know someone by the name of Rashan Jones?
Yes, I did.
And how did you meet Rashan Jones?
I met him in the summer of 2004. He came in a year after us.
Do you see Rashan Jones in the courtroom here today?
Yes, I did.
Can you please identify him by an article of clothing that he's wearing today?
He's wearing like a blue, I guess that'd be like a sweater vest, I think, yeah.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant. Now, you said you met him in the summer of 2004.
Yes.
Where did players live during summer practice?
There was a summer dormitory, I believe it was called Eaton, and that was the only one that was actually open for people who were doing summer school. So they would have us all move from there, because originally I was at like Mahoney Pearson dormitory, and then during the summer everybody moves out and goes into that one if you're going to attend summer school.
So if you guys are in summer school and going to practice, the players would be living at this dorm?
Yes.
Was there an incident that occurred in the dorms involving Bryan and Rashaun in the summer of 2004?
Yes.
Can you tell us what you remember about that incident?
I just remember me, Eric, and Bryan walking up the stairway, coming out of the stairway, which was on the floor where Eric's room was, because me and Eric weren't on the same floor. And once we got out of the stairway, we were looking ahead and we could see Rashaun exiting the room. So we all were kind of confused, like why he was in there. So then we just pretty much were talking to him about it, trying to figure out like what's going on. Everybody was inside of the room at the time we were having the conversation. And from my understanding at that time, it was like light. Wasn't anything crazy, you know. It wasn't like it was like we were angry about it. It was just more just wanting to figure out like what's going on. Like it was real like fishy. In a
So
sense.
let me just stop you a little bit. Whose room was he coming out of?
It was Eric Munker's room.
Was Rashan Jones his sleeping?
I don't recall.
Was he supposed to be in Eric's room?
No.
Had he asked Eric to go to his room?
No.
Objecting on it, hearsay.
Was Eric surprised to see him coming out of his room?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And where did you all go once you saw him?
Well, we all went inside of Eric's room.
And what happened inside of Eric's room?
So Bryan was pretty much asking him like, what is he doing in here? Just trying to figure out what he was doing. Obviously, me and Eric were both in the room as well. Rashaun was just more so like just kind of like pretty much saying like, you know, nothing. You know, I was just here watching TV, whatever, along those lines. And after a while of the questioning, Rashaun pretty much got agitated and was like, you know, I'm gonna head out of here. And as he was trying to leave out, we all were, like I said, I was in the room on one side, Eric was on that one side, and Bryan was kind of in the center, which is the one who was talking to him. And he tried to walk through or past Bryan, and obviously Bryan was in that area. So then they both kind of ended up grabbing each other, and Bryan pushed him back. And once that happened, Bryan ended up punching him.
Let me break that down a little bit. How big is this dorm room?
It's not big at all.
And I know we all saw you walk in.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
And how big was Bryan, if you remember?
He was 6'4", about 270, 280, somewhere around there.
And Eric?
Eric was maybe like 6'2", maybe 250.
So you're all in this room. Was there a lot of room to walk around?
No.
And in order for Rashaun to exit the room, where did he have to go?
He would have to go through where Bryan was, because Bryan was the one in the center, and the door was behind him.
And how exactly did this fight start?
So he tried to go past them, and I believe that there was contact that was made. And then once Bryan like pushed him back to get get him back away from where he was at, like in his space, it escalated from there, and then Bryan punched him.
What happened after that?
They tussled on the bed, and me and Eric kind of looked at each other initially, like, what just happened? It didn't all register at the time. And then he was just like, man, let's go, let's break it up. So we went over there, and at that time we was able to get Bryan. And then as we got Bryan off of him, Rashaun got up, and then that's when Rashaun was walking out of the room. But now there's a lot of people who are around the entry of the door, because they're all hearing the commotion. And Rashaun said, you might as well call your Zoes and clip up.
And what is those?
From my knowledge, that was like a terminology of, like the Haitian descent.
Is that something you knew at the time?
Yeah, I knew that at the time.
So like you knew exactly what it meant.
Correct.
And what was your reaction to that comment?
Again, it was a surprise, because for me, from where it started to where it ended, I was just like shocked that it got to that point.
Did Bryan feel like he'd been threatened?
Yes.
And what did clip up mean to you?
Like, get your guns.
Did Bryan follow Rashaun out?
Bryan walked out. Rashaun got out of the room first, Bryan walked out of the room, I went with Bryan, and I just was de-escalating, talking to him like, bro, like, you know, chill, let's, you know, calm this down. And then as I was walking with him, because I felt like me and him had that relationship to where if there was ever a moment where, you know, he might not, you know, be at his best or whatever, I could talk to him or calm him down and get him back on track. And I spoke to him and I told him, I said, hey, let me just get on the phone. I don't want you to stay here. Get on the phone and I'll call one of my friends and have you stay over there. And I called one of my friends and they were okay with it, and he slept over there that night.
So just to be clear, at the time you all were staying in the dorms for summer?
Yes.
And did your friend live nearby campus?
Yeah, approximately about maybe 5 minutes or so away.
Closer than Bryan's mom's house?
Correct.
Did you have workouts in the morning?
Yes, we did.
Did Bryan seem affected by that threat going on? Like going to practice the next day?
I don't recall.
Okay. Did it seem like everything was normal with practice?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Did everything go back to normal?
Sorry?
Sorry, did everything seem to go back to normal?
It appeared that way. Nothing ended up escalating in the practice times or whatever.
That summer, were there any other incidents?
In the summer, no.
Where were you living that fall?
In the fall, I was in the Mahoney side.
And are
At the
those
dorm.
athlete dorms?
Well, it's the dorms for all the students, but athletes were there as well.
And just so we have our timing clear, this is now the fall of 2004?
Yes.
Did Rashan Jones live in the dorms?
Yes, he did.
At some point that fall, did you see Rashan Jones with a gun?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember where you were when you saw him with a gun?
Yes, I was in a mutual friend's room.
And whose room were you in, if you remember?
It was Patricia Dunock.
And you said mutual friend. Mutual friend of Rashawn's and yours?
Yes.
And what happened inside that room?
We were just horse playing. Me and Rashaun were horse playing, slap boxing. And I ended up.
Objection, motion is
Motion's in limine. Can we come sidebar?
Yes.
you were saying that you were horse playing in the room?
Yeah, we were horse playing, we were slap boxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is slap boxing?
Just pretty much open hand, like slapping.
So this was in good fun.
Yeah.
And after you were slap boxing, did Rashaun show you a gun?
Yes, he did.
And had you ever seen a gun before?
No. Not outside of television, but not in person.
Can you describe what the gun looked like?
Yes.
And can you tell the jury what the gun looked like?
It was a black gun. It was a revolver. Smaller caliber. It was a snub barrel. It was was short. It looked very thick. The barrel looked very thick, and the whole from what I could see from when he had it in his hand, all black.
How did you know it was a revolver if you've never seen a gun before?
From when I would watch, I used to watch westerns with my older brothers. They used to love watching westerns, so I'd always see the guns that they would use in the westerns, and then pull it out as a revolver.
Why do you remember a gun?
I've never had anyone pull a gun out on me before.
So you've never seen a gun before?
Okay, overruled and reserved now.
So Mr. Howell, was that the first time you'd ever seen a gun before?
Correct.
Okay. Now that you work in law enforcement, have you had training on firearms?
Yes, we've had training, through the police academy, and obviously every year we have to qualify with certain guns in our qualification shootings and stuff like that.
Now looking back, can you tell us what type of gun it was?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Overruled.
So looking back now, can you tell us what
Objection, Your Honor.
gun it
Not
was?
time related.
Overruled.
Looking back, can you tell us now what type of gun that was?
I would honestly say that it was a smaller caliber revolver.
Would a 38 be considered a smaller
Objection, Your Honor.
caliber?
Counsel, leading.
Overruled.
Would a 38 be considered a smaller caliber?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what was your relationship like with Rashaun?
From like the day one, I was cool with him. Never really had an issue with him. We hung around some of the same people. I valued all my teammates. So I never really had an issue with them, and it's funny because there's like a thing that he would usually say to me, like that Randy, our coach, used to always say about me, like dropping my nuts, which is pretty much just kind of tell me to go harder. So he would always say that, and that kind of like helped me through while I was in like practice and stuff like that. So, like I said, I really didn't have an issue with him at the time.
So he said it in like a fun manner. So
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was Bryan's relationship like with Rashaun?
I would say that it was indifferent. He never really, from the beginning, because we were obviously a year older, so it was kind of one of those traditions at University of Miami. The older guys normally would mentor or at least kind of coach up how it's done at University of Miami. So for him, it was just like he's a freshman, so he doesn't really like hang with them, deal with them, or anything like that. So it was just one of those things.
Was Bryan afraid of Rashaun?
No.
So you all are on the same team. Were they still able to play together?
Yes, they were.
Do you know someone named Jada Birdie?
Yes, I do.
And how do you know Jada?
We went to high school together at Rowan.
Did you know that Jada Birdie went to the University of Miami?
I did not before, but like I saw her at the school, and we ran up to each other like, "Hey, what's going on? I didn't know you were here." That kind of thing.
Is Jada younger than
Yeah,
you?
she's younger.
Okay. And at some point, did Bryan and Jada begin dating?
Yes, they did.
Can you tell us how that came about?
We were at the they used to call it the Rathskeller. This on campus, like event hall, basically we call it. And they were holding an event out there, and I was with Bryan. And then he saw her from afar, and he was pretty much saying like, she's attractive, and he wanted to know who she was. I looked over there, and that's when I spotted her again. I was like, yeah, I know her. I went to high school with her, or what have you. And then he, at that moment, he was just like, for real? He's like, put me down, which was like, introduce us. And I said, no problem, I'll bring you over there right there. And then they ended up, I introduced them, and then they ended up talking from there, and exchanged phone numbers, and ultimately ended up dating.
Do you remember when you introduced them?
I don't recall the exact date.
Was it, or what year it was in?
It was in 2005.
And were they in a serious relationship?
Yes, they were.
Did Jada end up living with Bryan?
Yes, she did.
Did it ever seem to you that Rashaun was an issue in their relationship?
Just off of conversations that me and Bryan
Objection,
had.
Your Honor, hearsay.
Without,
for now.
yeah, without telling us the exact conversations,
Right.
did it seem to you that Rashaun was an issue?
Yes.
Something that came up.
Yes.
And did Rashaun seem to get between them?
In regards to what?
In between
Objection.
Bryan and Rashaun?
Speculation.
Did Jada cause issues between Bryan and Rashaun?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Yes.
And how do you know that?
Just her going back to Bryan and telling him something.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Are these things you saw?
Well, just a second. Just change the form of the question.
Did you see any instances where Jada directly came between Rashaun and Bryan? Created any conflicts between them?
Like in person, though.
I'm sorry, what's the objection?
I was wrong. I was wrong.
Withdrawn, okay.
Did Bryan and Rashaun get in any other disputes?
Yes.
Were they over Jada?
Yes.
Did you see any of those disputes?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us what you saw?
It was in front of the cafeteria that we normally go and eat at. Bryan was upset about something Jada told him, and Rashaun was coming from, I'm believing he was coming from class or what have you, and Bryan, confronted him about it, about what Jada told him.
And what happened?
Rashaun denied that there was any issue, and it was just words between the two of them, and they moved on. It was nothing physical.
And that was after Bryan and Bryan and Jada were dating?
Yes.
Now, just for some timing, at some point did you leave the University of Miami?
Yes, I did.
When did you?
So I left the end of 2005, but I officially transferred out in March of 2006.
So after the fall of 2005 semester, you were no longer attending the University of Miami?
Correct. Once we went on break, I went back to my residence.
So the incident between Rashaun and Bryan that you just told us about outside the cafeteria, did that happen at the end of 2005?
Correct.
Did Jada and Rashaun ever date?
It was speculated. Yeah.
There were rumors about it.
Correct.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Just ma'am.
And where did you transfer to?
I transferred to Portland State.
Did you stay close with Bryan?
Yes, so we spoke on the phone a lot.
So I want to bring your attention to November 7th of 2006. Where were you living at that time?
I was on campus over in Portland.
How did you find out Bryan had been shot?
I was just leaving out of practice over there in Portland State, and I got a call from one of the teammates, and it was multiple players that were around. I could hear a few of them in the background, and they were telling me that Bryan got shot. And at first I said to myself, this gotta be April Fool's. Like, I never thought anything would ever happen to Bryan. You know, he had, like I always describe, he had that tattoo of Incredible Hulk on him, and I truly looked at him like that, like, you know, fearless, strong, just, and after I realized, I was like, wait a minute, it's November 7th, and I heard the other teammates continuously saying, like, yeah, he got shot, man, he's gone.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for hearsay and a narrative.
They confirmed that he was shot and killed, and I went inside of the training facility that I was trying to get treatment, and I fell down in there. I started crying, and one of my teammates, my closest teammates over there, was a running back. His name is Momar. He came over and was like, "What's going on?"
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Sustained. So, what was your reaction?
I was devastated.
When did you realize it was real?
Once I got to the dorms, and I turned on the TV and I saw it on ESPN, and even at that time I still was visibly, like, verbally saying out loud, he's gonna be all right. So it didn't even hit me. It kept saying Bryan Petta shot and killed, and I said, he's gonna be okay, he's gonna be okay, he's gonna come back. And it just didn't hit me until I ended up calling, and I spoke with Jada, and she confirmed it as well, and it was tough. Called my mom, I told my mom what's going on. She just told me to go in my room and just, if I gotta cry myself to sleep, cry myself to sleep.
Any other questions? You need a moment.
Yes, Judge, yeah.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'd like to give the witness an opportunity to compose himself. Mr. Hall, would you like an opportunity to step down?
I'm good, thank you.
I want to call your attention. You said that you came into the University of Miami during the summer of 2003. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes,
And Rashan Jones came in the summer after that in 2004. Is that correct?
in 2004, yes.
You indicated that you're very close. You were very close to Bryan.
Yes,
In fact, you described him as your best friend. Is that correct?
absolutely,
You're close to his family as well.
yes,
And you told them that you would do anything to assist them. Is that correct?
yes,
Now, back in 2004 in the summer, you testified to an incident that happened in the dorm room of Eric Longford,
yes,
correct?
yes,
That incident happened late in the evening, early morning. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
In fact, Bryan Pata and Eric Moncourt had been off campus until very late. Isn't that correct?
I mean, I was in my dorm, so I know they came to my room at a certain time, yes. But I don't know obviously what they were doing before, or if they were.
You said that they came into your room?
Yeah, they came to my room, and then we all went up to Eric's room.
Okay, so they came to your room late night. Is that correct?
Correct.
And it was Eric's room, not your room, right?
Correct.
And Bryan at that time did not live on campus, did he?
No, he didn't.
So it was so late, and because of your early morning schedule, Bryan was going to spend the night in Eric's room. Isn't that correct?
I'm not sure.
But he was going to stay over.
Objection outside the scope and speculation.
Okay, I'll allow him to answer your
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You're not sure where Bryan was going to sleep that night?
Yeah, I didn't know where he was going to sleep.
Your testimony is that the three of you were coming up the stairs when you saw Rashan Jones coming out of Eric Moncourt's room.
Correct.
And Rashan Jones didn't run away when you all called him, did he?
No, he didn't.
In fact, he came back to that room,
Correct.
and he came into the room with you.
Correct.
He didn't suspect anything was amiss, did he?
Yeah, like I said previously, it was light. It wasn't like anyone was interrogating him or anything like that.
He came back voluntarily to that room,
Correct.
and he answered the questions that Bryan Powell posed to him, did he?
Yes, it did.
And he answered questions that Eric posed to him. Isn't that so?
Correct.
He didn't have a problem with answering the questions.
Correct.
And he told him why he was there, because Eric had some videotapes that he was watching. Isn't that correct?
I don't recall if they actually.
Your testimony wasn't just before that he was there watching television?
That was what we insinuated. We thought. Yes.
That question wasn't posed to him?
I don't recall.
You don't recall whether or not you asked him that question?
Yeah, like the specifics of what you're saying, as far as like were you watching? I don't recall.
So he answered the questions that was asked of him.
Yes.
And when he had finished answering the questions that were asked of him, he tried to leave that room, didn't he?
Correct.
His pathway to leaving that room was blocked by Bryan Powell. Isn't that correct?
As we discussed earlier, that we all were right in the area where the door was, and it's not a big room.
My question was, his pathway to leaving the room was blocked by Bryan Powell.
Bryan was in the where the door was.
So Rashaun was flanked on one side by you. Is that correct?
Can you use another word?
You were standing on one side of the room,
Yeah, on one side, yeah, by the wall.
and Eric Moncourt was standing on the other side of the room,
Correct.
and Bryan Powell was blocking the door. Is that correct?
He was okay, so we're probably about 5 feet inside of the room. Maybe like around approximately about 5 feet inside the room, not at the door. Like you can't get out if you get what I'm saying. We all like one of us was by the closet. The closet was to the left in that dorm. His bed was to the corner in the left. Eric was on one side because again we're not right up next to each other, so all of us were kind of spaced in that area. And because Bryan was asking him the questions, mostly Bryan was like in the middle of that area.
In a very small dorm room.
Yeah, closest to the.
And you guys are upperclassmen.
Yes,
And at that time, Rashan Jones was a freshman.
correct.
Okay, so you were the ones that would have been mentoring him. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
But on this occasion, you were asking him questions about why he was in.
Very valid questions. Yeah.
And he was giving very valid answers.
Yes.
And as he tried to leave that room, Bryan Pata punched him after pushing him back, didn't you?
Yeah, they engaged with each other and Bryan punched him.
Bryan punched him and he fell on the bed.
Yes.
And when he fell on the bed, Bryan Pata headbutted him 5 times, didn't he?
I don't know how many times. I know I saw him. Yeah.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't.
I don't know how many times that he headbutted him. I know that there was a headbutt that did occur.
There was more than one.
That I noticed. I saw a headbutt. Yes.
So is that yes?
That I saw at least one is what I'm saying. That I saw.
It was more than one headbutt, wasn't
Because
it?
as I already stated to the prosecutor, I turned to Eric and we both were kind of like, what just happened? So it was like we were stunned. So we weren't visibly just looking direct at what was transpiring.
So is it your testimony here today that there was only one headbutt?
I'm saying that I saw. Yes.
One second, Jordan. One second. And after that headbutt is the only time that Rashaun was able to get up and leave that room. Isn't that correct?
Say that again?
After the headbutt that Bryan Pata did to Rashan Jones, that was the only time that Rashan Jones at that time was able to get up and leave the room.
Yeah, when we broke them up, he ended up getting out of the room and walking out.
You indicated about an incident that happened with a mutual friend, Patricia Dunac, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That was Patricia Dunac's dorm room.
Yes.
That too was a small room, wasn't it?
Yes, they're about the same size.
And you say that you were slapboxing with Rashan Jones.
Correct.
You were not close to Rashan, were you?
Like I said, I only had a select few friends that I was close with. Like I said, me and Rashaun were cool.
Is that yes or no? Were you close to Rashan?
Oh,
Jones?
no. Sorry.
And yet after that incident where you were in the room with the other upperclassmen and he was punched, knocked on the bed, and headbutted, you would tell this jury that you were able to slapbox with him in a friendly manner?
I don't understand your question.
So you're saying that not being close to Rashan Jones and after the beatdown that he suffered in that dorm room, that you and he would voluntarily slapbox with you?
Absolutely.
And you said that Rashaun showed you a gun.
Yes.
When you were asked to ID that gun, now that you have your law enforcement training, you said that it was a small gun, and the state asked you if it was a 38. And you said yes. Correct?
No, she asked me if a 38 is a smaller caliber gun, and I said yes. That's what she asked.
A 22 is a small caliber gun too.
So 22 is also a small caliber gun.
One moment, Joe. I want to be clear that the incident that you said that happened in the first dorm room where Bryan Patta punched Rashan Jones, jumped on top of him and headbutted him, that was in the summer of 2004, is that correct?
The altercation was in 2004.
And that incident that you're alleging, where you were shown a gun by Rashan Jones, that incident was in the fall of 2004, you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
The incident that you said that Jada Brody said something to Bryan that had Bryan to approach Rashaun. It wasn't Rashaun saying anything to Bryan about Jada, it was Jada telling Bryan something about Rashaun. Is that correct?
Correct.
And at the time, Rashaun said, there's no problem here. Didn't he?
Along those lines, yes.
He did not have a thing for Jada. And he made clear that whatever was going on had nothing to do with him.
Objection, counsel testified.
It wasn't Rashan Jones that approached Bryan Patta about anything with Jada. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Bryan Patta was your best friend. He was your bestie. Isn't that correct?
Yes, he was my best friend.
And to this day, you still remain close with his family.
Yes.
You don't like Rashan Jones, do you?
If I like Rashaun Jones,
Yes.
he's a teammate of mine.
You told police that you had issues with him in reference to your girlfriend. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
So you didn't like him?
Do you want me to talk about the incident?
No, I
Is that
want
what
you to
you're asking?
answer the question that I asked.
I didn't have an issue with Rashaun, as I already stated.
In every incident that you described, Rashan Jones was not the initiator. He was not the aggressor in it, was he?
In the incident, what?
He was not the one that punched Bryan Patta, was he?
Again, as he was walking out of the room, he bumped into Bryan. They both engaged each other. Bryan ended up punching him, yes.
Did Bryan step aside to allow him to get out of the room?
He was still talking to him.
So, did Rashaun, are you saying that Rashaun had to wait for Bryan to finish speaking with him before he left the room?
Rashawn's a grown man. He can go wherever he wants to go.
So, was he blocking his path?
We were still talking to him. Remember, he invited himself back into the room, as you stated already. It was light, as I stated already. We all were talking about it and just trying to get clarification on what happened. So, again, if he's talking to him and he was already invited in the room and it was okay at that moment in time, then if Bryan's asking questions, it still would apply that it's still light and they're still okay.
So Bryan is asking a question and Rashaun is saying, I've answered the questions enough. Are you saying that he cannot leave the room?
I'm sorry.
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
My question then is, did Bryan block his path?
Objection asked and answered.
I'll allow it for now.
He didn't block his way. He was inside of the room, as I already stated multiple times, where I told you he was standing at.
Was Rashaun free to leave the room?
As I stated, Rashaun could leave the room.
You were not a police officer in the summer of 2004 at the University of Miami, were you?
And I was a student.
And you didn't have any authority to keep anyone in a room that they didn't want to be in, did you?
No.
I have no further questions.
All right, you good? Hi, Mr. Howell.
I know.
What issues did Rashaun have with you and your girlfriend?
Objection, motion's in there.
Overruled.
You can tell us. What issues did Rashaun cause between you and your girlfriend?
At the time, my then girlfriend came to me and told me that Rashaun made advances at her twice.
Did you confront Rashaun about this?
Yes, in the locker room the next day.
And what happened?
I came to him, I told him what she stated, and I told him, I said, you know, we're not supposed to be doing those kind of things as teammates, or brothers, you know, etc. And his response is what threw me off. He just said, man, I do that with everybody. And I said, everybody's not my girl. And at that moment, he clenched his fist and he went like this and he said, well, you just gotta do what you gotta do.
And when did this happen?
This was in 2005.
In the fall of 2005?
Yes, sir.
And were these similar to the issues that Bryan had between Bryan and Jada with Rashaun?
Yes.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Your Honor, that's for recourse.
That's denied. Is he under subpoena?
Yes.
Okay. We can just leave it up. Okay.
Can we come sidebar briefly, Judge?
Well, I just need to know if he's,
He's under subpoena for the defense.
for today, you want today to stay?
Well, that's why we want to come sidebar, because
I can't make those decisions for you, I just need to know if he needs to stay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I think now